Happy Monday and welcome to another episode of The Break Room. If you will let me know where you're tuning in from, I would love to know where you are in across the world. So again, welcome. And for those of you that this is your first time, welcome. For those returning, thank you and welcome back. Now, I will give you an opportunity to go ahead and share this with someone else who you feel could benefit from the things that we discuss over here in the break room. So, as a reminder, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share, as I mentioned before. And this is our time together in the break room. The break room is a safe space for self-care, safe space for nurses. And so let's go ahead and share with others who we know could find value in what we talk about here. So again, those of you who are new, my name is Deetra Dennis, and I am a registered nurse and the self-care coach for nurses. And I empower my fellow sisters to prioritize the care of their MVP, their most valuable patient, which is themselves, so that they can show up as the best version of themselves on a daily basis. And as a result of that, it will impact their family and the community. And so again, the break room is our self-care safe space where we take a break from the day-to-day and just have a moment to refresh and renew. And we talk about things that, concern us, things that we go through throughout our day. And hi there, welcome Alina. Y'all, if y'all didn't know, Alina is my coach, and we'll find out. I'll share a little bit more about my coaching experience with Alina. So welcome, Alina. So before we go down, if I didn't mention, our topic today is Remember the Time. And over here with the music, the song, who knows whose song Remember the Time? Who remember that? Who remember that song? And who sung it? I'm going to keep going because I want to see if you all know the music quiz here. And so before we go down memory lane of remembering the time, I want to just share some statistics. I like to find value and information that is valuable when we're talking today. Yes, it's Michael Jackson. Remember the Time was by Michael Jackson. And so these statistics here, so this one was by the Registered Nurse Network survey. And it said 50, and I'm sorry, if I'm looking down, I'm reading my notes. 50% of nurses are considering leaving the profession. Okay, so think about this. There are 4 million nurses. And if you're saying 50% are considering leaving the profession, that's 2 million. That's a lot of nurses wanting to leave the profession. So it went on and was saying that 37% of the nurses said they were burned out. Who can raise their hand and say that? Stressed, overworked, and they were dissatisfied with their careers. That kind of saddened me, but then I had to think about, I had those same feelings. I never felt that I wanted to leave the profession. Definitely, a certain position I would want to leave, but definitely the stress and burned out. Yes, I felt all of those, exhaustion, and the list can go on and on. I felt those, but because as I'm sharing, when I had to start doing some self-reflection, and I had support in that. I had support from my coach, Alina, really helping me to identify, what things made me happy. And when I started thinking about, this is where Remember the Time came in. I remember the time of getting the acceptance letter into nursing school. I remember the time of my first clinicals and having on my white coat, my lab jacket. I remember taking the state boards and receiving my letter of, that I passed the boards and I'm officially a registered nurse. I remember that. And when I remembered those things, it brought happy feelings to me. Another song came about with that. Happy Feelings. Who knows what Happy Feelings, that song? Anyone remember that song and who sung it? But as a result of thinking of those things, it made me have happy feelings, and it made me Yes, it is important to know our why, to connect with our why. That is so important because it's a motivator, but it also helps to change your perspective and your perception of things. And so as I went on further in thinking about happy feelings and Maze featuring Frankie Beverly song that song Happy Feelings. So I went on further to think about happiness. What does happiness mean? Happiness is the meaning and the purpose of life. And it's the whole aim and end of human existence. Now, this was written by Aristotle over 2,000 years ago. And how many of you can agree that that still applies today? Hey, yes, Frankie Beverly. Yes, yes, yes. And as you think about happiness, it's really a broad term that describes an experience of positive emotion, such as joy, contentment, and satisfaction. So going back to when we were looking at the statistics that 37% were saying they were dissatisfied. Do you feel that happiness, since happiness is a broad term, of positive emotion that includes satisfaction. Do you think some happiness, self-care of happiness is needed right now with the nursing in the nursing profession? Or if you're not in the nursing profession, in whatever you're doing and you're feeling dissatisfied, I feel that happiness would definitely, yes, Alina, yes, 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 happiness is needed. And so I went on, I'm the little research girl over here. So research also showed that bringing more happiness into your life has far more benefits than merely feeling good. It also can help in potentially health benefits. So one in particular, I had to bring this one out, was stress. It reduces the stress. It has the ability, what it says, to combat stress more effectively. Because remember when we talked about what burnout is doing to your body, we talked about when you have those high levels of stress, and burnout is the prolonged stress, stressful situations. When that happens, the cortisol levels are very high. But when you have the feelings and emotions of happiness, people who are happy and who have optimism have very low cortisol levels. That reduces the blood. But remember, going back again to the video, our live, when we talked about burnout, what it's doing to our body, with the high cortisol levels led to high blood pressure, high blood glucose, also could lead to potential type 2 diabetes. And it also, causes there to retention of the weight when the cortisol levels are high. And yes, I'm going to show this, what Alina said, that happiness renews our body. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And so in one of the, again, continuing in that research, it mentioned that when happiness, it provides a sense of optimism, a take on the world attitude. How about that? Take on the world. We can do it. We can do it. And positivity that can be infectious. And I truly believe that it is very contagious, if you will. And so there were 3 ways when people are finding happiness. There are 3 ways that people tend to do in finding happiness. So the first one was doing good for others. How about you? I know when I have an opportunity to do good for others, it really helps me. It motivates me. It's inspirational. How about you? When you do something good for another person, how does that make you feel? Does it make you feel happy? You have joy that you've done some good in the world? How does it make you feel? And we'll come back. So the second one is doing things you're good at. Doing things you're good at. I know that, again, during my coaching with Alina, now growing up, I used to always love music, love dancing. Actually, one of the pictures that my mom has at home in our photo album, it shows, I think I was about 2 years old, and I was, had my hands up, dancing and singing. And so I know that was something that I always enjoyed. And when I'm sorry, when I yes, it is amazing. When I had the opportunity to go through coaching, it was really going back and finding those things that brought joy to me. Oh, hi, Gwendolyn. Thank you for joining us. And let's see what Gwendolyn has here. This is good. Gwendolyn says, joy is the foundation. Happiness is how we respond to life situations and being solution oriented and learning from them. Yes, yes, Gwendolyn. Yes, yes, yes. I love it. But going back to with the coaching, finding what you're good at. So again, music and dancing was one of those things. But another thing that I discovered was cooking. I really enjoy cooking, and I thought I was pretty good at it, and that I actually enrolled into culinary school. So again, finding those things that you're good at, that brings on that happiness for you. Even if work is doing what it's doing, you find your happy place. That's your foundation. That's your place of being centered. You know, we talked about that a few weeks ago as well. And the last one is doing things that are good for you. Doing things that are good for you. What are some things that you do that are good for you? I know for me, again, when I'm thinking about cooking, I love preparing healthy food that is going to give me energy so that I can do the things that I'm assigned to because nursing is a calling. So whether I am at the bedside or where I am now as a nurse entrepreneur, it is a calling. And so there's quite a bit to do. And so in order for me to show up as the best version of myself that I share with others and empower others to do, I have to be sure that I am fueling myself so that I can show up again as the best version of myself. And so again, just want to recap those three ways to find happiness. It's doing good for others, doing things you're good at, and doing things that are good for you. So share with me, what are some things that stood out for you as it relates to happiness, or even going back down memory lane? What were some things, again, if you're not in the nursing profession, but what are some things that when you think back to the beginning of your career, be it as an entrepreneur or in another industry, what were some things that brought you joy? And maybe the joy has dwindled a little bit, but how you can rekindle that joy. What were some things that brought happiness for you, or happy feelings, if you will? And I'll give it a few moments. I know sometimes it's a delay with everything. Yes. Alina says helping others brings her joy. And it does. It really does. Being able to help someone else. And when you see the joy on their face, it lights you up as well. So yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. Well, did anyone have any questions about anything before we call it a day? We're in the break room, so we only have a break for a short period of time. Okay, cooking more vegan meals. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, yes. And it's really for me when I am cooking, and like for me, Sundays is my day where I'm doing my meal prep and preparing for the week. And I have the music on. It really is my happy place. I can say that it's my happy place because I have the music going. And I think about when I'm cooking, depending on what I'm preparing, I always try to bring in recipes that are from my family that I know my mom cooked, my grandmother cooked, or my Aunt Mary cooked, or even, some of the other elder ladies that were in my life. And it causes me to think of them in those, the joy that they had and have in cooking. So yes, I truly enjoy that as well. Hey, Pam. Look, listen, Pam worked with me at about to say Blue Cross. Sorry, Pam, that's not where we were. We were at WellCare. When others succeed related to interventions we have utilized. Yes, yes, Pam. I love that. I love it. Hey, Miss Aquila. Let's see. Joy comes when I help others. Yes, 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 indeed. I know. Forgive me, Pam. Forgive me. Yes, yes. So thank you all again for tuning in tonight. I really want to have, again, this is our self-care safe space for us to feel energized and feel renewed with the information that is shared. And I do really appreciate you being here tonight. So, I always like to end with a wonderful quote for us to think on through the week. So the quote today is: happiness radiates like the fragrance from a flower and draws all good things towards you. So I'm going to say it like the Frankie Beverly and May said: I wish you happy feelings until next week. Yes, love you too, Pam, and miss you. Hey, Nita. I'm sorry. Listen, it's like a little family reunion around here. So hello, hello. So glad you tuned in. So we're going to end now. Again, go back to the rest of your day. This is the break room. So, we can't hang out in the break room for a long time. We have to get back to do the things so that we can bring happiness and joy to others. Yes. All right. So until we meet on next week, again, I wish you happy feelings. Have a good week. Well, have a good night and have a good week.